My name's Nick Roney. I'm a filmmaker from Northern California. I'm shooting on a selfie stick right now, which I know is probably a cinematic crime, but I wanted to take you for a hike and show you the wilderness I grew up in. It's probably the only way to really understand my perspective. Okay, let's go. I've always done my best thinking in these woods. There's no one around. There's no cell service to be distracted by. You can just be alone with an idea and really sink into it. Just about to the top here, and I wanted to show you my backyard. As you can probably tell, there wasn't a lot to do here growing up besides hike and make movies, so I did that a lot, and I ended up going to Chapman University for it, where I met a music video director named Carlos Estrada, and I worked on a few of his sets, and that pretty much is what inspired me to get into music videos. The project that probably best represents my approach to music videos is Flasher material. I've always tried to subvert the audience's expectations of the setup within the first minute to make the video as engaging as possible. Updating the classic channel surfing concept allowed me to flip the script as many times as I wanted while satirizing the modern viewing experience. Put me up, the miracle touch, just another never touched. Most people never watch a music video to the end. They get bored and hop from one piece of content to the next in a never-ending slipstream of corporate-sponsored entertainment. Basically, I wanted to make a music video for people who never finish watching them. At the time, I was really into watching fail army, like watching people wreck their cars, watching a bicyclist drive into a wall, watching people trip and fucking... Ah! Okay, I think I messed up pretty bad. I've been calling out and there's not anyone around. And I think I'm at least like 4 miles away from the road. And I hurt myself. I hurt my leg. Take a look. I busted it. Like a little twig. Speaking of twigs, although they emotionally cucked me, the Lemon Twigs were an easy artist to work with. Barely any notes, no complaints. My grandparents, on the other hand, were demanding. For example, my grandpa refused to spank Michael, so we had to VFX that sequence to make it look real. Or, if you take a close look at the baptism scene, you'll notice my grandparents were added into that shot in post, which they agreed to only after seeing a final cut of the movie. To be the same with you. In all fairness, there was no reason for them to trust me. Behind their backs, I shot a simulated sex scene with 2 body doubles as part of the Twigs education. It almost made it into the final video, but my grandpa found out the day before the video's release and was extremely upset. With only a couple hours remaining, we wrote and shot a replacement scene where I'm asking them to be intimate together and they refuse. It ended up being exactly what the video was missing. It was my first lesson in letting the process take over and embracing catastrophe, which is exactly what I'm trying to do right now. Oh! I'm headed back to the road. I don't know if I'm gonna make it before night. It's honestly such a fucking terrible situation. I've only experienced something this bad once before. Paper Cup for Real Estate was one of my most difficult projects. What I wrote was so ambitious for the budget and timeline that when we initially shot, we only got 60% of the footage. I had underestimated how time-consuming it would be to work with an actor in a suit giving a robotic performance. The scroll either broke every 10 minutes or the actor needed to take a rest because it was painful to wear. Thanks to the record label, the producer, and the crew, we were able to pull everything back together for another shoot day to film the rest of the story. The main challenge, though, was to get people to care about a character that was nearly inanimate. Typically, Chuck E. Cheese animatronics are treated as scary, and I wanted to go in the other direction and do something more sincere. I thought the more seriously I took the character, the more likely it would be funny, which is how I ended up approaching the story as a cancer drama. If I was successful, it was because of the makeup artist Chris Hansen, who designed and built Chipper from scratch. He put a lot of love into the suit to make it a charming squirrel, and God, what wouldn't I give for a little rodent meat right now? I'm so hungry, and all I found to eat was this little bit of fox poop. It's not the first time I've eaten shit.
And I'm auditioning Smith.
Great. So I'm just gonna play this song and dance however you want.
Okay.
Moodoid was made after a string of VFX-heavy music videos that took me several months to complete. It wasn't a sustainable way to work, so my main goal was to prove to myself that I could shoot something in a single day. Also, after doing so many kitschy visual effects, I wanted to make something that felt more organic. I always thought auditions would make for a good music video because it's when actors are at their most earnest, spontaneous, and funny. Initially, I was going to audition all different types of people, but the artist wanted to use women because it fit the song better. This created an uncomfortable casting couch dynamic that I tried to satirize with the final twist, but in terms of how real the performances of the actresses are. This has literally been the worst day today. Freaking rubbed 2 holes in my white jeans. Ugh. Looks like my Watsky video. I never saw myself shooting a lot of butts, but the filmmaker who inspired me to get into videos, Carlos Estrada, asked me to. He pitched an initial idea to the artist about him hang gliding around a porno set and then offered the project to me. When I met with Watsky, we decided to expand the story to him flying around an entire planet of body. Fuck, god damn, it's a fucking bee.
On you. I'm breathing deep, then I leap in. I'm going under like eating that Visa key to how we could beat global hunger, achieve total peace on earth. I'm a freak, I'm a local wonder, more lung capacity than Freddie Mercury vocal number.
To construct the landscapes, we arranged 9 naked actors and shot them in slow motion with wide-angle lenses so they would appear massive. Then we put Watsky on a hang glider against a blue screen and composited him into the scenes. You might notice there's a miniature hang glider in the video with a ceramic Watsky on it, which is an element I puppeteered on a marionette. It took me nearly 8 months to complete all the visual effects, which I thought was the most I'd ever go through for a video until I did an interview for Canal 180. Made it on the main road, on my way home. Not sure where I'm going though. Not much for me there, not since my parents got divorced. How long have you been married?
1995.
Almost 24 years.
So what is the current state of the relationship?
We are giving each other space.
I realized that I needed independence.
Yeah.
Given that I'm your oldest son, it's my duty to be here for you at this time. And I want to commend both of you for turning to me to help you with your marriage. But no promises. I can only show you the path. You have to take it.
The light in the bedroom, she kept the curtain closed. A shadow was cast when she was taking off her clothes.
The idea for Cayucas came to me when I was listening to the song and my stepdad walked in. He started dancing to the music, and I realized how closely the lyrics mapped onto what he was going through with my mom. Their relationship, which was beginning to fracture, wasn't something they wanted to talk about, even with each other. I thought if I approached the situation as a music video, we could at least joke about it.
Action! Make us the bride. Okay, a real kiss?
Under the bar turns on the lights, you never know what could happen by the end of the night.
Make the kiss again? No!
In part, I was inspired by The Act of Killing, a movie where a filmmaker has Indonesian warlords recreate their dreams and their violent memories as a form of therapy. A part of me knew it was a bad idea to insert myself into their relationship, but thankfully the result was genuinely cathartic. Just by turning a camera on the situation, it forced them to crystallize their feelings for each other, which helped them move on. In the end, the special thing about the project for me was that they set aside their differences at one of the most difficult times of their marriage to help me with the video. But I should stop talking about it because I'm back at my mom's house and she has one of her new boyfriends over.
Just a girl that I used to know.
Thanks for going on the hike. I hope it was as much fun for you as it was for me. And, oh, I was wondering, before you go, would you sign my cast?